Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Today we're going to be interviewing Drosha from Russia and hearing about the experimental community, his journey, how did he come across the experimental community, and just what is experimental and what's been going on in that community. And yeah, and if you have questions as well, feel free to ask. So let's get started. Because I'm interested. I heard about experimental. Thought it's interesting how I don't really see it in the USA, or maybe we just don't call it experimental. Maybe we just call it freestyling, or people blending styles together. But I'm interested in hearing about the experimental community, that label, and what's been going on outside of the USA. Especially in Russia and the Netherlands, because there seems to be a special energy, creativity that is going on out there. So let's see. Let's see here. I just came back from that Red Bull event last night. It was wild. It was Team USA versus Team Red Bull. It was crazy. Crazy stuff. All right, let's see here. Oh, let me send it again.
Mic check, mic check. Let me see.
Hey, I hear you. I hear you.
But that's
Ah,
right. Yeah,
now
yeah. Now,
we
all right.
see you. How's it
Yeah, all
going?
right.
How you doing, Drosha?
How you doing? How you doing?
Good.
Good,
Nice,
good.
nice.
What what time of day do you have there?
So it's 9 a.m., so 9 in the morning.
You're just waking up.
Just waking up. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So, what
good.
time is it over there?
Oh,
6?
6, yes, 6:03. I just rushed through my dinner.
Oh,
Finished the week.
okay.
I'm having a birthday at Sunday. I'm almost 45.
No
Uh,
worries. Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
happy birthday if I don't tell you then. Happy birthday
yeah.
now.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Nice.
Thanks. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for
Now,
having me.
yeah, thank you for, finding time to share your story and information about the experimental community. I know, I was speaking with Robo Z when I was doing an interview, and he mentioned your name. And also, I remember seeing a lot of, I think for me, the first time I really heard of the experimental dance community was when I heard of Open Your Mind, which on YouTube. I was just exploring YouTube and I was like, wow, like, what is this experimental event community? And it's so different the way they have the competitions. And I also thought of like, why don't I see this in USA really? So these were some thoughts I had, before. But I would love to, hear your story. How did you get into this dance and the experimental community, like how did that build, what did you see? And because again I also talked to oh, I'm forgetting his name. He does Back to the Illusions, the event.
Oh, from Moscow.
Yes, he was
And you're talking
sharing.
about Bartes maybe or
Yes,
yeah.
Bartes.
Shout out, yeah.
Yes, and I know I spoke with him a little bit, and he shared how I guess he helped with one of the experiment Open Your Mind
I
events.
think so. I think so. Well, that's a bit complicated because I cannot take all the credit.
Okay.
Open Your Mind is I'm a co-founder,
Mm.
and my name is Andre. So my nickname is Drosha, but I'm Andre. And there is another Andre in Russia, and the two Andres started Open Your Mind. The
Oh,
other Andre, which is still active on Instagram, but more as a teacher, his name is Andrei Lazarev.
okay.
Shout out to him. He kind of had the first idea of an experimental event. And
Mm.
he traveled all the way from Russia to the Netherlands to have an interview. You can find that like very long interview on YouTube.
Okay.
about experimental, where I kind of like explain what it is. Well, I didn't know what it is, and I'll get back to this, right?
Okay.
And I said, look, I want to organize the first experimental event in Russia.
Hmm.
Do you want to judge? I said, well, I will judge, but I have another, uh, how do you say, condition. We'll change the event, right? It's
Hmm.
kind of ridiculous to have an experimental event that just it's the same battle. Like you go, I go, you go, I go, winner, winner, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
that gave kind of the launch to our collaboration, and which the he had the name and the logo, which is really strong.
Oh,
Open your mind, and in certain sense, very naive because it's like I wouldn't think about it, but because his language is also Russians don't speak English, right? They're like,
uh-huh.
open your mind. And later, people laughed at it in the beginning. People laughed at the whole title.
Why did they laugh at? I'm not sure. Why did they laugh at it? Open your
Right.
mind.
Well, just look, but look, wait, look at our culture, right? It's Red Bull BC1 or it's R16 Battle of the Year.
Right.
What else do we have? Freestyle sessions.
Okay.
You got
Just a
OG.
boo. Would just a boo kind of be as well?
Just the
Just
move, it sounds cool in French, sexy, but it just means just standing.
okay.
All
I
right.
never heard of
Uh,
that.
but all those, they're all kind of like cool and sounding. Just even like what do you have? Papa's Picnic or OG Picnic?
Yeah, the Poppers Picnic. What else? Yeah, all these different. Yeah, yeah.
They kind
World
of
of
have cool
Dance.
names.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah, World of Dance,
Yeah.
Hip Hop International. And then you have this Open Your Mind. And people are like, yeah, right. Well, open your mind. Now it's iconic. And it was
Yeah.
the best choice ever. But the choice was kind of funny. And it
Wow.
was not invented by me, but I really like the fact that it's so in your face. It calls you out to do something. You
Right.
have to open your mind. It's not descriptive by
Yes.
describing that this is the world of dance.
Yes.
It almost sounds like you have to dance. So you have to open your mind.
Yes.
Uh, it's
Okay.
also the only thing we never changed in the 15 years that we exist, more or less.
That wow. Okay. And I love
Yeah.
also the acronym OYM. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I am.
OYM.
It
Okay.
works. Yeah.
So maybe we can go to the beginning and kind
Sure.
of as we go through the journey of talking of your journey, we might go off maybe a little off track or little points, but maybe yeah, we can start in the beginning. Yeah. So I guess, my question then would be, how did you find dance? How did you get into dance? What were you
I
watching?
did. Ah, yeah, that's I like the part of your work and your podcast. You do a lot of name dropping, right? And
Yeah.
it's also typical of the hip hop culture to credit the other credits. And
Yeah.
I'm by far not as credit skilled as other people, in
Hmm.
which I also shout out to everybody you had. And my brother Robo, we know each other for a long time, so that
Wow.
was like I'm very humbled the fact that he even called out my name because I was never that. Let's say I've never been A-tier dancer, which
Hmm.
are always the most exposed, the most online, the beautiful. But they were also my example. But my story starts as a dancer in Soviet Union, which doesn't even exist anymore. It was Russia.
Hmm.
But before Soviet Union, I actually grew up in a totalitarian regime. I
Hmm.
grew up until my 11th, pretty much in the communist state with no Western media whatsoever.
Okay.
It was all propaganda. It was all right. So for me, I still remember that world in which I grew up in a Western closed world, which opened while I was there. So I kind
Hmm.
of saw the first video clips, pirate versions of MTV. People would smuggle videotapes with MTV on it. You can't even imagine that you didn't have MTV, but you could watch. So
Yeah.
somebody would copy a tape from a copy. And the
Right.
kids, so I was about 11, 10 years old, we just copied it on the street. So in a sense, I'm like the super street dancer, like it was in USA in the 70s. We did the same in the early 90s, my generation of Russian dancers,
Ah, okay.
but not even understanding what you do. Because you see a video clip, I see the dancers, and they're like, oh, I also want to do, I would learn
Yeah.
how to do a wave, and you don't know who that is and know what it is. until I jumped forward, came to the Netherlands in Eindhoven, where I still live. My parents immigrated because I come from a family that has been systemically oppressed for generations.
Hmm.
So after the Second World War, my grandfathers were all in gulags. I don't know if you know what gulag means.
No, I'm not
It's
familiar.
labor camps. So they would get the jail sent to Siberia in the cold to work themselves
Wow.
to death. And because of their lifestyle, I never met them. I just heard it through my parents' stories that
Hmm.
said, if you have the chance, run. So it
Wow.
happened in 90s. My parents just took whatever they had and went away with me and my sister. So
Wow.
that's our story. But that gave me, well, a lot of perspective, and which I still use in my life. But it also introduced me to this world where, when I was approximately 17, I was already into hip hop in Russia a little
Hmm.
bit because we had some Ice-T, some Public Enemy, some Warren G, some Snoop Dogg,
Okay.
some, right?
Nice.
And for that, it was like, wow, look at this music. They're doing like the F words and I
Yeah.
had some English from my school, so as kids, we were like, oh my God, this is so cool. They're like rebellious and whatnot.
Yes.
And
Wow.
here I got into the local community of, so we're talking about 97, 98, of very small breaking, popping, graffiti, like a Four Elements community.
Hmm.
And that's why I officially say, like, when 97 starts my purposeful life of considering myself to say, I'm a B-boy, I'm a breaker.
Hmm.
That's what I do. But back in the days, it meant mix of pop, lock, break.
Okay.
There's no
Mixing it all
knowledge.
together.
Yeah. Not just whatever. And
Right.
Robo it talked about this a little bit, Robo Z. He
Hmm.
said already, remember the battles where the crew would mix stand up and breaking
Yes.
low. Basically, it just said we didn't know shit. We
Okay.
just repeat whatever we could see. And
Right.
it took somewhere until 2000, maybe 1, 2, 3, until the first teachers started to flying into Netherlands.
Oh, who was this?
Yes.
Who was this
So
teacher?
that was, so I'm going to give some shout out and credit to Hip Hop House. It's a Rotterdam school with Lloyd Marengo. He's like a father for a lot of people. He made a crew that's called Paparazzi.
Hmm.
And he's now a very big choreographer. And he would kind of bring the first knowers, right? They would teach class and say, look, this is popping, this is waving, this is animation. And we're like, all right,
Oh,
cool. And before we already had battles, we already had competitions, but nobody knew what you would do because you could, fragmentally catch up something, but there was no information transfer, so we didn't know.
wow.
The French community knew, but never communicated. And later from Rotterdam with Lloyd Marengo, my own crewmate, which is called Jing, he's actually very known because he runs the Cozen system.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard about Cozen? It's a
I'm
judging
not
system.
familiar. No. What is that? Tell me.
Yeah, he developed a judging system which is used now worldwide by KOD, by whatever, to vote menu with the buttons.
He
So
came
everyone on
up
the
with it.
screen. Yeah. He still
Really?
runs it. That's his job. Next to being a real popping teacher here in the Netherlands, he's like an OG and a good friend of mine. We go back in the days together.
Wow.
That's right.
Cozen.
Look, he's
Oh.
here. Jing, shout out. Shout out,
Okay.
brother.
So Cozen, he's credited for creating the system for the judging.
Yeah. Which he still runs. But historically, he also was one of the kind of, he and Lloyd Marengo started to get some knowledge about popping. So
Oh.
basically, it's really strange, right? We're already dancing, waving, doing whatever, but it has no name. And then through that, by that time it was 2005 and 8, and I also worked in an organization that had some funding, and we start bringing in people, and that's where the story begins. Kind of like, all right, bringing teachers from overseas, which inspired me a lot. Which number one is Mr. Wiggles, is like a real my teacher. He came back and forth, and we had a lot of talks. Yeah, Armenians created it. That's true. Daniel says I know him as well. So.
Okay.
I'll credit you. No, Daniel, I'll credit you in a while because you will be credited in my. You will get a shout out. Um, right? But for now, it's just the history because it's very interesting history in which schools kind of clashed and merged because
Hmm.
they had to explain us a lot what it means. And it's there that I understood I am actually not part of this culture.
Oh, when the time where you started having Mr. Wiggles and others coming in, then you said,
Yeah, that
"Oh, I don't know."
yeah. So and then maybe if Jing is listening, he can write the names. We had Junior Boogaloo, which is fucking amazing. I loved it. He gave me like a lot of tools of how threading words
Hmm.
works because for now I was only copying it from the tapes. In which one in detours? If you look to detours, I already showed there's a lot of threading going on there,
Yes,
right?
yes,
All the this thing is that thing,
yes.
right? So Mr. Wiggles came there. We had more Electric Boogaloos members. Then Jing started to connect to Asia, and then he brought Hosin,
Uh-huh.
Boogaloo Kin, well, from Japan. Which what's the big name from Japan? Like
Like
one of the big,
Aki,
the other
Guchon,
one, Guchon,
Guchon,
Guchon.
his partner, I forget his,
Yeah, that
Kai,
Guchon, Guchon.
Kai, he, yeah,
I think,
okay,
and yeah, and then but also Henry Link.
okay,
Also, like uh, so me and my colleagues, we brought people all the time to the Netherlands, and they schooled us, which
hmm,
helped me a lot in the forming of. That's why I can dance. But in the same time, what happened in the battles, they became more and more structured.
right, right,
So you can imagine, I started as a winner, so I was like, and I still people sometimes credit me as one of the pioneers in this whole thing. Oh yeah, you see, Jing is saying Aki was there as well. I'm kind of credited as pioneer, quote unquote, but not because slowly I went from winning, not even making the pre-selections because I was not able to, I couldn't feel the foundation. You know how it works, right? If you do a bottom battle, they expect you to pop, and I was not really popping. I was kind of doing animation, which was weird. So I experienced on myself, well, Jing and we started together became this legendary, like he's the most decorated Dutch popper we have.
oh,
Uh,
wow, okay,
and we had the split, and I said in conversations together, I said, look, I can't feel the rigidness of the square. Well, I can do the dance. I still do it. I know all the techniques I learned, and sometimes what Jing would teach me myself, like, oh, that's sacking, that's strobing, that's. I loved it, but when it came to competition, it became like this.
like, hmm,
It's ideological. It's like you have to do it this way and not that way. And I said I respect that, but that's not how I felt. Oh,
hmm,
look, he's writing all of them. So we had Hoang, JG, Hosen, Buglukin, Aki, Boogie Frantic. That's right, Green Tech. Oh my God, I forgot all of this. Bruce Ikanji, Junior Boogaloo.
okay,
So
the
it's only then
worldwide,
that, yeah, it's only then that the popping part and animation part starting to make sense. But
hmm,
for me, I was always looking to Midas elsewhere, abstract b-boys,
okay,
and that merged into the fact that for me, experimental is a accident. It's not a culture. I also fight against having a basics of this culture, and we can get to this later.
yes,
But
okay,
it's in DNA of our dance. It's like not experiment. Which hip hop style does not experiment? Well, maybe the choreography ones,
mm-hmm, okay,
maybe.
okay,
But experiment is our essence. And
right,
when I start to connecting to pioneers also from other uh, domains, maybe Storm,
yeah,
Po1,
uh-huh,
again Wiggles, there we through their conversations, I went into the mentality of saying, wait, when you were young,
you were experimenting in a sense,
you were
yeah,
only experimenting, right? Nobody knew shit. There was no names about it.
right,
But now when people sometimes get older, they're becoming like you have to frame it.
right, right,
For some, I would say
yeah,
that's all right because some people need structure. But
mm-hmm,
there's this whole freakish, us, the people that want to express ourselves. We don't want names. We don't want. These are the ones that usually go to the experimental stuff.
right, right,
It's about human mentality. It's a human nature to either like, and I like it, right? Some people are like encyclopedias. You know them, right? They know every name for every move, for every hit,
yes, yeah,
right? And some people are looking for this untouched territory. They do crazy shit. They do crazy stuff.
yes, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Okay, so
right?
Okay. So where did you hear the term experimental? When was the first time you heard that?
Um, and look, so I also lecture that.
Hmm.
So now you're touching one of my lessons.
Okay.
Uh, so I teach at universities and stuff
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Because it's a very interesting thing. It's one of my favorite accidents. So the
Hmm.
first mention of experimental in our scene, the hip hop scene, is because of the detours.
The detours. Okay.
If you look at the tape itself, then you will see there's a name under a name, detours. It's called experimental collaboration.
Right.
But there is another side of the story which is connected also to USA, New York, which is where Bruce, according to his own words, and if he's here, I will be here, he can correct me or say Drosha was right. This
Hmm.
was so interesting. He kind of saw an event where people would have a free category.
Hmm.
And in this free category, how do you call it? Let's say experimental. He brought that category to Just a Boo. Just a
Oh.
Boo is like the biggest event out there. What happened? Accidentally popularized it, right?
Oh.
Because they organize all over the world, and a lot of people felt I want to enter like I did. So I entered Just a Boo in experimental. And before I even entered the very first Just a Boo as a popper, didn't make it. The second Just a Boo with Jing didn't make it. Well, he was becoming better. I was becoming like I was falling behind,
Hmm.
as I explained.
Hmm.
But suddenly in 2012, I just entered and then just smashed the whole thing. I won
Hmm.
the local and I won the one in the world.
Wow.
And these ones were sent out through internet. And then you have to understand how internet works.
Hmm.
All over the world, people kind of assumed, oh, look at this, because there's a category popping, hip hop, locking, house, experimental. Right? You
Yes.
just, if you don't know the information, and a lot of people just don't know what we know, they're
No.
thinking,
Yeah.
oh, and they look at the dancer and they say, I like this a lot, right? They watch the people in experimental categories, assuming it's a genre,
Yes. Right. Right. Because they see it's
right?
experimental category, so I'm like, that's a style. It looks like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was growing and growing. By the time I won in 2012, it was broadcasted on internet. And overnight, people like from the whole world, from Peru to Mexico to India to Japan, texting me, like, wow, wow, what you did there, like, wow, 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 all kinds of wows,
Hmm.
including the assumption, because I was already 32, you must be a pioneer.
Oh, okay. Of your
But bro,
age,
I'm not a,
they thought you were been doing this for a long time, experimental OG.
yeah, because I look like I kind of own this thing, but I wasn't. I was actually always a b-boy. My most credentials are from breaking
Hmm.
because breaking was the most open to experiments.
I see.
But I
Okay.
can also house, I can hip hop. I'm a proper. I still practice every week all those styles.
Uh-huh.
And when you know like the tip of the sword, the sharpest point, that's me.
Okay.
That's the crazy drosha, like all the conceptual stuff.
Okay.
And what happened is I just then like took all the most interesting parts of my own freestyle vocabulary, put them together. And what also I had is theater experience. I was already working in theater,
Oh, nice. Okay.
right? If you
Okay.
have theater experience, you know how to present yourself. If you
Yeah.
have like this mind like I do, I like weird shit and I'm not scared to show weird shit, you combine and then kind of blew everybody away. They asked me to teach that. By the
Oh,
time that people asked me to teach that, I didn't know what I have to teach.
they want you to teach
No idea.
experimental. They want you to teach
Yeah,
experimental. Okay.
everywhere. I
Was there
already thought
other
it.
was there other teachers, people teaching experimental before this?
No,
No,
no.
but there were experimental dancers that were like in Just a Boo before you, or no?
Yes, but they were like me, actually dancers, right? From normal, I would say, all right, I could enter. I actually the year I won the 2012 experimental, I also entered house with my partner Machete, who's an MC now, and we went through. I made it through pre-selections. I even were more successful as a house dancer relatively to my popping,
Interesting. Okay.
right? But then tore my ligament on my knee.
Yeah.
So if you look, there is footage of it. You can find Amsterdam 2012. You see me already doing the experimental stuff without a knee. So I adjusted all of it by laying on the floor and then crawling and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right? So no, everybody was like that. It was like all the people. There's Yaman from Wanted, very good dancer, also a good comrade of mine. Um, to let's say who's also there, Scorpion. He won it twice.
Mm.
Yaman was 2 times in the final. Jill the Grid. Um, they were all we were all from not considering ourselves experimental dancers. It was all much later. We have to get closer to
Oh,
2018 or 17 when
wow.
the internet and open your mind started to like getting more and more traction all over the world. Then it became kind of like it's a thing. But at this point, no, people were in theater. Look, in theater,
Hmm.
there's a lot of experimental practice.
Mm.
Always been there. There are makers from all over the world that have such crazy approaches. How do you see dance and movement? And
Right.
already then, as a breaker and popper, I had some knowledge of that.
I see.
How do
Okay.
you make laboratories? And I just, like I said, oh my God, I'm going to this country. I've never taught an experimental workshop.
Wow.
I don't know what to do.
Okay. What
I'm
did you
honest
do?
about it.
What was this process? What did you do? How did you?
Yeah, that was, I, I, I remembered what we did in the workshops with other more established makers.
Okay.
And I also kind of started to reverse engineer my own style, which is threading animation.
Hmm.
And my style was also heavy influenced by a brilliant maker, Johnny Lloyd, who's American born,
Hmm.
but lived in the Netherlands, which was my introduction to conceptual theatrical work. So I
Oh.
start looking at my style as a character, which is
Hmm.
like animated floor work. And I use this when I explain, people say, oh, well, but how did you find out the style of this character? It's like, well, imagine I'm an alien that landed on this planet and then starts like in the movies, you start to slowly and gradually uh, fit into humanity, right?
Yeah.
That helped me to understand how it, what's my motivation because you know how it works. It's intuition. You're not brainy about it. I can talk about it now. I'm 44 years old. I couldn't
Hmm.
talk about it when I was 30.
Hmm.
Then there is a choice of music. It's dubstep, drum and bass, UK bass, jungle. It's electronic music. So when you listen to this, it has different like boom. That's why right? That's why there's so much connection between my love for animation, because it somehow connects to this technical illusion, robots,
Yeah.
aliens,
Alien, out
machines.
of the world, kind of going outside of what's norm. Yeah. I feel that. Yes. Yes.
Right? I couldn't relate to, let's say, uh, the proper. I understood the OG feeling. I love it. The LA, the suits, the popping, because I'm Russian. I come from this cold climate, and I
Right.
can relate closer to concrete and rust and rain. Netherlands is rainy. So
Mm.
the music that resonated with this is much more UK music. It's the
Mm.
jungle and the drum and bass and the dubstep, and that resonated me next to hip hop. So I always was both. And then when we trained on it, a lot of my friends trained on it. Then you kind of start experimenting and going to the new direction because the you react differently on it.
Right.
So what happened also, experimental because it's never been framed has opened to so many influences. People from modern dance started flowing in. People
Oh.
from now electro, the style electro from France, right? It's such a vibrant open space
Hmm.
still in which open your mind continuously unframes the frame, right?
Hmm.
So there are
Hmm.
a lot of teachers that teach experimental, and they all do different stuff. Love it. Good, good.
Okay.
They all teach their personal approaches,
Right.
right? They're very, world famous uh, dancers right now that kind of started to get through, like Link from France. Have you ever heard of Link?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody knows Link, but Link is like a brother almost. Like he's been through very first Open Your Mind and the second and the third. Like Salomon, also from France. Then
Mm.
a guy that just reacted, Daniel Patlach, he's from Russia. There's a lot of Russian and Ukrainian and that Eastern Europe style. They're crazy. Kind of all of them have different approaches how they do it. And the
So
Germans, yeah,
okay, I was gonna say
yeah, yeah, go, go, go.
at this time there is no this is the way to do experimental. There's no like you know how popping had that this is how you pop. There wasn't any of that in experimental at the moment. Okay.
No, it's still not is. There's no.
Still not is. That's interesting. I'm curious how you've been able to keep that, but we'll get into that. Like how they're,
Well, because look, in order to have you need a consensus, right? You know a consensus. So
yes,
people have
everyone.
to agree on it.
Mhm.
And open your mind is until this day. So at one point you have to understand just the boost stopped doing experimental.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
they
they
said,
stopped.
yeah, around 2019, which
Okay.
give us even more boost.
Right. Okay.
And don't forget, there's a couple of things that we do right. And open your mind is we don't overshare the footage.
Okay. Interesting. Why? Why not?
That's kind of my policy of to create scarcity in a world that's affluent, like crazy. There's so many dance, but a lot of people tell your story when they come about Open Your Mind. It's mostly our obscure after movies.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
we do share some of it, like there, left or
Yes.
right, but you have to be there.
Nice.
Believe me, that's being there changes people's lives. They've never been through a battle that's like, what? What's going on here? And what happens also as well is that, so we are now at Osaka in Japan. This month we will be in Mexico, Teo Manali Festival.
Okay.
Then we will be end of the month. I'm flying to Rome.
Hmm.
Then it's going to be Spain, and next year, no, this December it's going to go to uh, oh my God, Vietnam.
Oh wow. Okay.
There was a talk about organizing OEM in America, in USA, which I would still love to, but it kind of watered down because we need somebody to do that.
I
The
see.
franchise doesn't cost any money, so I don't ask a penny for it. I don't care. Open
Hmm.
your mind, we don't care. It's not like other big events we have to pay franchise. We don't, I don't mind. It's about, are you the right person to do that?
Hmm.
Are you
Okay.
the right mind state to do that? So all of that, not so many footage, really interesting platform, empowering. So I also empower people to disagree with me.
Hmm. Okay.
That's
No.
why I like. So there is no consensus. I'm not creating a church of Drosha. I'm not creating a. I fucking hate it, right? I don't need to talk about that. What is true in dance or not true in dance because I don't believe in it, right?
Okay.
And I'm not the only. I'm not a popular school of thinking, but I do have some friends. I'm not calling the names because I'm used to have a controversial opinion, but not everybody agrees with this controversial opinion.
Uh-huh.
Most dance styles are connected to certain active figures that also preach. And in this
Right.
preaching, they say, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
I always hope that until experimental could be that place where your radical self, because this is what motivated, this is what so much helped me as an immigrant from a system of Soviet Union going into the very like Western European style
Hmm.
to be myself is that I saw the breakers, I listened to Wu-Tang, and I only felt freedom. I
Mm.
can express myself in a fucking way that I do. I just need to learn that freeze, the hand glide, I can do the
Yes.
wave, I can
Yes.
take stroke. What? Wow, that's freedom. That I didn't feel it in my Soviet Union. It's freedom.
Hmm.
And what I then mentioned is all those freedoms were like boxing in, boxing in, boxing in. And then I'm doing what I love the best is battling. And I just take, okay, I have to 1, 2, 3, 4, show them the basics, show them the
Mm.
touch. And I could just relate to it. It's no longer freedom,
Right. Right.
right?
Okay.
It's something else.
Right.
And there I was looking for freedom. I found it in experimental because I once used to do, I got a credit, then reverse engineer a whole method,
Wow.
then try to so I have also a lecture that explains how experimental is a place and not a style.
It's a
So
not
right,
a place, not a style.
it's so I guess and I'm not sure, I've never been to USA or LA, because I always imagine like you would jam a lot on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's a place, right?
Uh-huh.
Somebody
Okay.
puts the music, somebody creates the vibe, but you're there in a place.
Okay.
I was inspired by footage where, would see, I studied Junior Boogaloo, which is probably my favorite dancer of all time.
Okay.
When he did like those,
Yes, nice shooting waves and
right,
right.
and the tuts, and they were like, oh, and there was like mathematics. I'm like studying, how the fuck he would do this? Or right, but the footage came from the street,
Right.
a very old one. It's still online, and it's from the street, and this is pure inspiration, how it touches your soul. Or
Yes.
Midas, from which we're now good friends. Me and Midas, we talk occasionally. We even battle together when he
Wow.
starts to connect the threads the way he does it.
Yes.
There's so much freedom in it because it's not framed,
Mm-hmm.
it's not defined,
Right.
and nobody says you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
You're doing it wrong. Ah, you do that wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? In experiment, there's no wrong. When I select the judges for the big event in Eindhoven, we have a whole talk about reprogramming them to
Mm.
realize if somebody goes on stage and does really weird shit because they want to, they have to try to understand what that dancer is meant to do,
Mm.
right? Not to project their own. That's what judges do a lot. They project their own understanding of the style on you
Right.
if you're, and it's
Right.
okay. I don't mind, right? Of course, if I'm judged by Popping Pete, I'm glad that he would look at my popping. It's his, it's
Right.
his brainchild. It's his,
Yeah.
but I flipped that to say, look, if somebody does something you don't like, you're
Or
on the wrong place.
understand, maybe.
Try to understand. Yeah. If somebody stands on a stage screaming,
Right.
try
What?
to understand, is this scream well done? Right? If somebody stand on a stage and they, oh my God, what do we have? I don't know. We had this performer that started eating such a hot peppers and then mixed it with, so it's like blood gushing out, and like we had
Really?
such a weird shit. Yeah, yeah, we had such
Really?
interesting weird
That
shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But not real blood. It's like fake blood, and it
Okay.
was like a whole performance. The judges need to be able to say something about this performance. If they're gonna give me a feedback like, "Oh, it's not good enough. I don't see any foundation," right? I had this discussion. Let's imagine I said, no foundation. There's quality, but no foundation.
Okay.
So you have to be able to recognize modern dance as well as step dance, as well as popping dance, whatever it is, doesn't matter as long as you have quality that we all recognize, right?
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Right? You
So
recognize when somebody's wave is shitty or is so smooth. It's like,
right. Right. Yes. People don't have to. People don't even have to really be dancers to see something that looks visually like I understand. I get it. Or like. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, 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 yeah. It's the
right.
difference. So look, I did a lot of experiments, including my grandma. She's dead, rest in peace.
Mm,
Uh, but when she was like somebody like 80, I would watch battles with her,
mm.
and I would ask her to judge.
Nice.
And look, we don't do, it's not normal, of course, not to judge really, but on the video.
Yes.
And of course, I am grandson, so she would like to watch me. But then I figured out, I did it a couple of times with people that never dance. They completely lose any attention after top eight.
After top eight, they lose attention.
Yeah, because then the difference between quality is so small. You literally, in order to imagine, you have to understand the final battle or top four battle of any world class event.
Right.
You're you're an expert, right? You know how to judge it. Not
Right.
an expert, just they could see the difference between the world champion and in the first round and the beginner.
Right.
Of course. But then my grandma started to vote for the most handsome boys.
Oh, she's looking at other qualities. Yes.
Right? It's because it's nonsense. She doesn't know, right? If you do this or
Versus
that or
right.
whatever. Like we can see, oh yeah, the animation quality was not so good, yours was better. But the differences are minuscule, so you have to be expert. And this is where our dance never had this huge attention arc of people outside of the community. So the gems are very long. The battles are long, right?
Hmm.
But what we found out is in experimental, they do.
Hmm. Okay.
Because then you have such a variety on approaches. And
Right.
now you know that everything is possible. You're gonna go home and try stuff. You're gonna try
You
stuff,
right, right.
right?
Yeah.
You're free, like free. You can, it's a
And
risk. You might get it, you might not get it, but you're
yes,
gonna try stuff.
yes.
And what we have is that's why people change minds when they get live, when they get to see Open Your Mind live, almost like a spiritual experience, because suddenly we tap into this rawest form,
Mm.
super raw form of your dance, not yet caught in the legacy, tradition, method, history. That's the four sides of the triangle, like of the
I
legacy,
like that. Say that
tradition,
again. Say,
method.
okay.
So it's
Legacy.
so it's the four parts. So it's tradition, legacy, which is more or less the same. And I'm lying, but I did it somewhere. So it's methods, history, legacy, and the fourth one is I'm missing it. But so, and I can explain it. So what happens is when the styles start historically, and I would really advise you to talk with Midas about this because he's got the same kind of kink for, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
hip hop philosophy. He's also a hip hop philosopher. He's got a book out.
Oh
Shout
wow.
out to Midas. Um, and he can tell you all about. So when it starts, it's very free, right? Nobody has the right terminology.
Hmm.
So, and then people like me were asked to teach. So I develop a method. That's the first start of the. Then with this method, um, and with time, the more you create legacy and history, which we say, wait, no, you cannot do it like this. Otherwise, you will fuck up the legacy, right?
Right.
If you're doing the pops wrong, if you're doing the, I don't know, Roger Rabbit wrong, if you're doing
Right.
the six step wrong, so there's like a certain protect gatekeeperism of people that say, right? You understand, right?
Preserving the culture, preserving the story of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people before. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's but which is normal. And then suddenly you have this very framed good idea where it's kind of where we are, right? So popping is very methodicalized. There are teachers that are known all over the world. They will teach you this, that, that. You know, the battles are more or less the same. We have some waves and trends. Like now, all the specialists are very popular. I like it. Wavy
Yes.
battles, animation battles, right?
Yeah.
But before it was all together. But before there was even locking between popping, right?
Yes.
But in a sense, the older we get, the more clear it becomes. This is the square, right? This is
Mm.
you have history, you have method, you have legacy. Fuck, I forgot. I have to. I will send it to you
Okay.
because
Okay.
I explained it in another lecture one time about how the square works. So in order to break the square, jump out of it, you have to fight against language itself, and it's a very tough fight.
Hmm.
So I'm fighting the language as long as it's so it's called experimental, but it could also be called freestyle. I'm myself a more freestyle dancer, but I
Okay.
actually don't mind how it's called.
Hmm. Okay.
And in that legacy, what happens because I have nothing to protect, neither do I have a method, right? For my money, it's not so wise, right?
Right.
I would be rich to be like Don Campbell to say,
Yeah.
I did it. Now I have to do
Right.
like I do. But
Yes.
I'm too I don't know. I can't live with this. I don't care also about this. This is not how I make my money.
Okay.
It's much more interesting to consider that fact that we have like a for 15 years already a platform that is crazy, right?
Hmm.
That changes literally people's minds because we kind of figure out how to create a space. It's a space
Hmm.
selection of the music, how vibes, what's the after party, what's the pre-party. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. I like to ask you talking about the judging. You said judging the quality of the movement. Because, typically I hear people talk like if there's a, dance event popping, hip hop, they'll look, okay, musicality, foundation, character. They, judge like that. But you're saying quality. How do you judge a contest when there's such a wide range of movements? How do you?
Yeah, let's look at first of all, it's a good question. Second of all, I will shout out Storm. So you have to check out Storm, and Storm has a lot of tutorials explaining the trivium system of judging.
Mm.
And there's again, like my life has some turns which are really weird. One of
Mm.
them is what do Drosha has to do with the Olympic judging system. Like
Mm.
it's a zigzag, it's going to zigzag. So
Okay.
Renegade is also DJ and a teacher from UK. So Storm. Then you have Tyrone van der Meer, who is like IBE, the very famous festival, the notorious IBE. He's the organizer of it. So we have Nick Trajas doing Nick, who is a very famous b-boy from the Ruggeds. There is Thomas, who is the head organizer of Boti.
Okay.
And there's me, one
Yeah.
room. And we're trying to figure out how to fucking base this new judging system.
Yes.
Now, with Open Your Mind, on Facebook, you can even probably find, if you go far enough on this experimental community page, I did a small thesis, not thesis, but essay
Mm.
about the three qualities in dance.
Mm.
Because this is how, and now zigzagging. My
Mm.
teacher, Johnny Lloyd, who did a lot of theater on the highest level out there, he toured the whole world,
Wow.
explained me how to deconstruct hip hop from its culture, right? And make it more theatrical. So we are also me. I know the culture. I respect the culture. So I always hope I'm not sounding disrespectful. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against anything.
Right.
I know my elders. I respect the proper popping. Right. I learn it. I just
Yeah.
don't consider myself it. But I respect the culture. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In theater, people tend to unable to pull themselves out of the culture and just
Mm.
see the technique. And when Johnny helped me to say, look, he said, just see qualities. See, what do you want? Do you want to make a theater about the rage and the anger? What kind of quality would fit from your dance style? I'm like, oh my God, that could be strobing, right?
Right.
Or you could punch as a crumper.
Right. Right.
And then suddenly you're like, okay, so it's no longer about the culture, the legacy. It's just you know how the style works and you can bend it and twist it to help you tell your story,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So what I then propose, let's do three qualities. There's the physical, there's the artistic and interpretive.
Mm.
Physical quality is just that we see. It's how good are you?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's not that hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see it, how good somebody is.
Mm.
Artistic is how far are you from certain foundations?
Mm.
I really liked it. This is not but this is already Storm reinterpreted. Say, hey, that's interesting. If you want to measure artistic quality, then you know um, from the first gen, let's take a name and let's see. For me, everybody from Electric Boogaloo's, except Wiggles, is like the face of the foundation. If I want to sometimes show what's popping, I would show some old footage of,
Right.
Sam and Pete. And for me, it's also untouchable. I can never touch that. It's
Mm.
untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go further. Let's take yourself, including, because I've seen your dance, or myself, or let's say the styles that already jump over to new styles. That you remember there was like dubstep,
Yes. That's.
animation.
Yep. Yep.
It's how far it went off from foundation until you start bone breaking,
Mm-hmm.
right? Until you start threading, and I mean, right, all of that,
Right.
it merges far away. That's your artistic quality. And for that, you need to study the dance to say, look, this is pretty much foundation.
Oh, okay.
This is very far from it. Interpretive quality is what happens in a moment,
Okay.
right? So I burned you, but you have a reaction on it, and you hear that beat, and you're like, pam, 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 on that beat. All of that you can just park into the what happens in a moment.
Okay.
And then just the three things you internalize, you practice watching a dance, not in its cultural context. So it's not the Bronx story or the Bay Area story. That's the cultural context of the popping or breaking.
Mm.
It's still there. But for competition, especially Open Your Mind, you look at what do you see there. Some people will be so good at doing such a weird thing,
Okay.
right? Some people will be really bad at doing weird things.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And if you look at those qualities, some people just can, mesmerize audience without anything happens. And
Yes.
then all on the audience finally go on it. You have done, right? You've seen them. Remember Salah,
Yes.
which is once again, shout out to Salah. We don't really know each other, but he was always an example for me why I would not want to be part of the battle culture because
Mm.
he's the typical yes, but dancer.
Okay, continue. I want to hear
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
right?
continue.
Yes, but, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was so, like how he plays with music. And
And his clown
oh my
and
God.
funny character, and yeah,
But, and
but
now you know the rest.
that
But,
he's not doing like a certain,
oh,
yeah, yeah, popping. They were, yeah, critical of him. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, but. So but I was always like, always I was thinking, why? Why is that? Who the fuck? Who
Who's saying
invented this?
right, right, right?
Oh, okay, other people. Okay, good, good. So there is a lot of people feel comfortable with this. Good, good, right? For me, another one, which is, um, I'm trying to get to the names, to the names, to the names. I'll get there. So there are so many dancers that are actually very good, yes, but dancer and
Hmm.
could live free and experimental,
Yes, right. That's true. Right, right.
right? And so remember Aragon, Bishop, Bishop. Have you ever heard about
Yes.
Bishop?
The
Like
way,
he was also,
yeah, yeah,
he's
yes,
crazy. And you
right.
know also, you want to see those people in our culture, right? In the battles. But
Yes,
you also know he will half final, he will never make it beyond the top eight or something. Because we're
hmm
kind of, it's cool, but.
but right.
And what if you have a format that has no but?
Yes, yes, that's
It's
beautiful. Then
cool.
you see all the super mutants and characters.
You see super mutants and
Super
characters,
the
and
X-Men.
and yes, there is a certain what you call meta, right? Ah, great, good to know. Good to know. A reaction from. So you know what the
Yes.
meta means?
The meta?
Yeah, the meta. There is a certain meta, even experimental. There's always meta in every dance style. There's a
No, I'm
meta.
not sure. Explain to me. What does that mean?
It's a game. So it comes from the computer gaming, right?
Okay.
Or gaming, because Open Your Mind is very gamified. And if you see, we have like challenges and we do like Hunger Games, right? Like
Yes.
objects. Or I don't even go. I don't want to go there. You have to see it, right? And but there is a meta. So and the meta in experimental is if you're good at both feet and floor, and if you have a wide range of emotional output. So in the past, we have most original dances frustratingly never win, which is which is frustrates, right? Again, in the semifinal and semifinal, because it kind of like at one point, one thing happens in experimental, especially Open Your Mind, that I was not planning, but I
Mhm.
really love that happened. We have a lot of women winning.
Women winning.
Well, we
Okay.
have no like this. We don't actually do anything for it except that we use the broad palette of music and the judging are looking for a broad scope, right? You know already a little bit of the broader scope, also the broader emotional palette you can present. That means that, let me give you a very, very clear example in which you know those styles, right? If you go look at Krompers and you observe them and go Bach, it's one mode, right?
Mhm.
It's how it's supposed to be. Bachness have the
Right.
definition, and it's how you go.
Right.
B-boys as well. So being a sad B-boy will not win you a battle.
Right. That's not part of, no, no. The emotion, no.
No, the emotional scope is not. So we go to the whacking, and then whacking is like a diva, and
Yes,
right.
this, right, right.
Go to other clubs. So voguing is like it could be county or like
Yeah,
pornographic even. I
right.
love all of that. Open your mind. There suddenly we see that
Oh,
vulnerability works. Could you be vulnerable in a moment? And that works because I constantly create the whole atmosphere of theatricality and the certain musical choices that the DJs make. And I have really good DJs. Shout out to Lucas Benjamin and Nobunaga. They're both Dutch, but we go together even through like they know before. I said, look, this is like a movie atmosphere. This is like fairy tales because I don't want the same hard dick energy everywhere. Like, oh, let's go. Because then, of
right.
course, I understand why men win.
That's That makes sense. That's very interesting. I've never really thought of that, the emotional aspect. But you're right, like you said, like in whacking, voguing, crump, there is emotion, but some styles it's not about showing that emotion,
No,
right?
no, no, usually. And then what you will have in a meta, that's why explaining the most effective tactical approach. I know dancers don't think like that,
Uh-huh.
but it happens, right? There are trends, right?
Right.
There's like a trend where, back in the days, everybody wanted to tut. Like the crazier tuts, the more, that was a
Yes.
trend. In
Yeah.
breaking, everybody would do air chairs. Okay, there was a
Okay.
trend.
Right.
Because somehow in the, let's say in the state of the game, that was what people were doing.
Right.
And
Okay.
meta is everywhere, and it's very hard to break the meta. So you have to be really different. What
Mm.
happens even in breaking today, in every style today, is you kind of see the meta. Now that you know, watch the other battles, and you will figure out, oh my God, what are they doing to that works to win? Obviously, if you do open your mind and you don't have a broad emotional range, but you're also weak on the floor or weak, very strong on the floor, but weak on your legs, your opponents will show you the weakness,
Oh, okay. I
right?
see.
So imagine like you're really good at the floor and
Right.
but not on the legs, but I'm really good on legs and on the floor.
Yes.
It will be super
It
clear
shows.
that, oh my
Yes.
God, look, you got no rhythm,
Yes.
right? So this kind of interesting thoughts were all programmed, are still programmed within the open your mind to have the serious approach to how to radically be yourself, actually.
Hmm.
Because you have those rules, but also look for exception to the rule, right?
Hmm.
If we would frame all of it,
Hmm.
there's a reaction. So this approach
Okay.
is more conscious approach. Uh, it's seeing the human body and its possibilities in the style. This allows for showing value in a more spectrum versus a specific emotion or body part. Yeah, for sure. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Hmm.
Um, but it's also and it's let me also add it, and it's also an acquired skill. So
Hmm.
this is the youngest uh, conclusion that I have, maybe last 2 years, is that people actually can become good at it. That's
Hmm.
what I like the most. Otherwise, it's a rigged game, right?
Right. If you can't, right. Right.
So you can train emotional availability, vulnerability, right? You can become good at the floor and standing, right? You can, but then you have to go to theater. So
Hmm.
what we've seen, we have a lot of influx from classical styles, and we kind of 50-50, right? Some of
Uh-huh.
them, sometimes people from classical styles wins, from academical styles, modern, contemporary,
Yeah.
like, and sometimes from the street, and they all have trouble in different areas. So the battle, we have part as a battle, then the street people are in their power, right? They have
Yes.
more advantage. But when it comes to improvisation, because we have improvisation rounds, and
So,
imagine I
so
give
my
you, and imagine that I give you 5 minutes to improvise.
right. That's a time. That's a long time for a freestyle dancer, for a battle dancer, for someone that's right. That's a long time. So, okay, my question then, in open your mind, is it mixing battle improvisation? Is it different
Yeah,
types, or it's not just 1 minute you go, 1 minute you go.
no, no.
It's okay, and
So
and then
if you,
mhm,
yeah,
continue.
if you go to the page OEM, you already tagged it. And if
Yes.
somebody will watch it later, they just go to the page and then go down.
Mhm.
I do share there sometimes the winners. And we have more winners. So it's not only just one winner that wins the competition, but we're also, I love to credit the specific, let me call sub talents, because sometimes the best performer not win. Sometimes the best battler cannot improvise, but we
Okay.
still give the award for the best battle of the evening.
Oh wow! So you give awards to different, almost like qualities or categories of like, oh,
Yeah.
like you were the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
best.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah. So it's not like, the you have kids and there's dance competition, everybody gets an award. You
Yeah.
really have to earn it, and they're all valuable in their own right. Some
Yeah.
of them are given specifically to this person that we've all seen but didn't make it, right? And to win it, you really need to perform good. So the winners are not allowed. We're also not allowed. I say you're not allowed to stack awards.
Hmm.
Obviously, the winner could be the best battler and had the best, most impressive improvisation of the night.
Right, right.
So I do have very happy open minders that had 2 or 3 battle awards, but never came further
I see.
because they don't know how to improvise, right?
Right. Okay.
It doesn't make them worse dancer.
Right.
They're unstoppable in battles because they're so good. But
Wow. Okay.
improvisation, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
And it's from pre-selection to the battle rounds to improvisation. And there's like 1, 2, 3 rounds of improvisation. One will be conceptual, one will be funny, and there are other. The final, it's always together.
Together, what do you, is
So
when you
if we're
say
in the
together
final, yeah, we and I dance at the same time.
at the same time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the
Wow.
idea is, so I'm kind of trying to deconstruct the competitive. So if we dance at the same time, then aggression doesn't pay.
Oh, it
This is
doesn't.
where,
Huh.
no, 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 no. Because so what I do, the final is usually 10 to 12 minutes, and I transform the room. I did one time, I built a whole cafe on stage with players. I asked all myself, and we're just sitting drinking champagne, and I would put 2 finalists just and say,
The
go.
video I think I shared of the woman and the man, and they were having like a dinner table.
One of the iterations, so different
Okay.
versions. And
Okay.
then go. And then they create a story. And why I do this is a paradoxical thing, I know. It's going to sound maybe really weird,
Hmm.
but I actually don't like the competition,
You don't
right?
like the
But
competition. Okay.
no, but the competition is the best form. It's like democracy, right? It's
Yes.
not the best form, but we don't have better, right? If there's no competition, people don't are not
Nobody.
motivated the
Right.
same, nobody, right?
No.
So because it's a competition, it's very clear in the beginning, pre-selection. You made it, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Battle, you won, they lost.
Okay.
Then uh, every soloist, so 8 soloists will do one solo, and usually the audience and the host will make the subject of the solo. So I create games, how to prepare that,
I love this.
uh, right? It's borrowed from the very famous international show. You also have it in USA. They have it everywhere. It's like this improvisation show with comics, with the comedians,
Yes.
where you would throw a topic to them. So we throw a topic at dancers. Then it becomes more like together. But how do you even go in competition together?
Right.
You
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Uh-huh.
You maybe outshine somebody. You maybe but it's not an effective competition form,
Right.
right? So I don't need very effective judging criteria, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like continuously informing our community that if you made it till 8, you already won because you've just been through 200. Like we always average about 120 to 100 dancers from
Wow. Okay.
Hong Kong to LA, from Canada to Australia. They come all the freaks from all over the world come there. They're so good. I can't even choose who's the best. So you already won. And that I'm really glad about. The community already kind of the core, the older ones teach it to the younger ones that it's a place. It's about this whole beautiful experience rather than you win,
Yes.
because there is some luck in there, right? There's some factor of luck.
Yes.
Uh, let's say um, I give an example. So another dance that I love a lot is Future. Future is for me like and he also been at the festival, by the way.
A
Um,
future the from the popper?
the, yeah, 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 yeah. There's
Okay.
only one Future. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because for me, he's such a playful popper, right? He's got so many concepts. In that sense, you almost cannot win from Future,
Hmm.
right? Go toe to toe with his starting, you're gonna have a really
Right. He's always outside the
right,
box. Outside the box, right?
right. And so you have a lot of people like that. That's like try to win from I don't know this new superstar from Vietnam. What's his name?
Oh, empty pop?
Antipop, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why you see they win a lot. You know what you see in Open Your Mind? Never won it more than 3 times. Nobody won it more than 3 times.
How is that? That's interesting. How come? How come? Because, again, we see, Salah will win, win, win. MT Pop win, win. Green Tech win. You have names that stand and win most of the contests every time. How are
Well,
you?
look, this is complex. I'm not sure, but it's I can show. I study my own event, so I can reflect on that.
Mhm.
Now you're talking about the meta changes a lot, right?
Okay.
Because some people do win as long as they can dance. Like as long as Green Tech could dance, he won.
Every popping event, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, basically. But then as you see, I observe all of the dance styles I love, and it's actually everything. I also like to see what's going on in the crump, with Bruiser, and I fucking love the
yes,
style. I'm not a crumper, but I love the style, and
yes,
I also observe whatever. And everywhere you have your meta, so that's why I mean I'm digressing a little bit, but you understand what I mean. That's why in computer games, competitive computer games, you always have new additions that will change the meta, right? So
hmm
imagine something like Dota, I don't know, like take one
okay,
famous game where you have to use characters, they have statistics, and somebody cracked the code, and suddenly you could copy the code and everybody wins. What computer game developers will do, they will change, they will nerf something, there's all those things, and
yes,
they will add some new abilities. And this
yes,
everlasting race.
yes.
So dance is not completely like this, but a
Right.
little bit like that.
I see.
And
Okay.
what happens is the winners are obviously copied a lot.
Mhm.
And within this, there's also a little bit variation, so evolution of those styles, right?
Uh-huh.
For me, if you would ask who's the best dancer of all time, I have easy. It's for me, Mr. Wiggles,
Okay.
but not in this day of age
Mm. Right.
because the evolution.
It's
So
different, right?
why
What?
is
Right.
yeah, why is Stefan the best dancer of all time? Because he's creative genius, like just single-handedly
Right.
influenced everything, right? So you cannot. This is not a competition. This is already a legacy that's more powerful than anything.
Yes.
I just I hope that he would credit for that, and he does actually. So that's good. Shout out to Mr. Wiggles. And um, right, but the metas change all the time
Yes.
because if you go, let's go back. Who was before Green Tech the
Like
best
so,
popper? Probably
I
would
would
be
think
Koreans.
Hoenn, yeah, probably Hoenn or Hosen or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then before that would be like Salah was like a big name and
yeah. But Salah actually, this is so
Salah's
nice that we
always
remember him.
he's always I
But
feel.
he was not winning that much. He won in the end. He's such a. I'm so you know. That's like this is how you're supposed to be as a human being.
Mm,
Right? I've been to a lot of same places where he's been, but he was already like a star on a stage. He was
hmm
losing a lot
Right. I did hear that. I did.
until he broke the
Yeah.
meta. And he's
Interesting.
and why I use him also Bruce Ikanji himself. Bruce is such an amazing dancer.
Mm.
It's not that he won a lot of battles.
Mm. Right. Right.
Um, it's because they're uncopyable.
Hmm.
Some it's just like like you see them, it's like oh my god, I don't even know how to.
Yeah.
How do you become a second Salah? Well, you can't.
Right. You could try to
And you
copy,
can't.
but you can't build off
No,
of like Salah's mind. Like you can't. You don't know his
no.
mind. Like yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't. It's the same. What happens now with Link?
Mm.
Now that Link is on this like God level tier, like
Oh,
A tier,
right.
right? Just watch his dance. You can't copy it, right?
Mm.
And
Okay.
once in a while, somebody comes up that's um, so above the meta, they
Mm.
start becoming a meta. So
Right.
this, I literally saw what happened in the experimental world is that people started copying me so much. I'm like classic now. I literally one of the last thing that I did just to do experimental again in 2017 or 18, I don't remember. And the reaction is so, what's so special about this guy?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I understand. I'm old. Everybody does. Everybody understands how to do like threading, deconstructing into flow work and
Yeah.
like using concepts. What I did, I'm okay. That's good. I'm right. Somebody just says, oh, I see that
Right.
all the time.
Right.
Well,
Uh-huh.
you went, and that's what happens a lot, right? Imagine whether it's Ken Swift or
Mm.
other big innovator, they will come from uh, radical to classic.
Mm.
It's the
Mm.
same in art. Van Gogh, radical to
Right.
classic.
Right.
Go again, radical to classic. Right?
Right.
Tchaikovsky or Bach, like heavy metal of classical music. For
Yes.
them, it was like, fuck yeah. Now we
Yes.
think like, oh my God, it's just classic.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's so that is inevitable. That also in experimental and open your mind,
Hmm.
you have the same shift from the heroes like Simon Bass. So he's like a crazy.
Yes.
He's like the first like multiple winner of Open Your Mind, and
Really?
there's Max Spencer. Max Spencer,
Huh.
the Max Spencer, crazy. Then we have who else is there? Dope Dog is a Russian young kid now.
Hmm.
Won a lot. Then, well, there are a few, and but the rest, we continuously have new champions.
Wow.
We have, I've even on my memory 2 times that first time ever entered the Open Your Mind and won
Uh-huh.
because it's so little frame, right? It's we can't do it in popping. It's impossible to get some first timer to win a huge competition. Just
Right. They
can't.
they have to have been winning before they get to that point, the big competition, right? Right.
Yeah, it's also because the meta, so the most effective tactical approach, is clear.
Mm.
It's, I talked about the stop A that my grandmother cannot. So if my grandmother watched the battle between all, everybody would talk. Green Tech, Hoan, Hosen. She would literally wouldn't see the difference in dancing because they're so good. They're so fantastically good that the
Yeah.
difference is in the small details, right?
Right.
Or maybe some radical choices where Green Tech will use his flow work, right? But then, the opponents are so good. They will catch him and also use the other flow work.
Yes. Yes.
And then you start in the game theory. And I know
Interesting.
no people don't study game theory, but I like game theory because battle is a game theory.
Interesting. Okay.
What
Game
do you
theory.
do? What do you do? What's the response? What's the response? What do you do? Uh, and that's how I stole a lot of victories, completely not being the best dancer.
Nice. Okay.
But you can steal. That was Salah. A lot of people steal. Empty Pop steals a lot of battles by understanding the game theory. It's just a game, bro. You play any game, you can make joke, you can and
Right.
in experimental there's even more room to play game because you can take risks that might sometimes like you can take you run to the DJ, you stop the music and suddenly you
Right.
go into the
Whoa.
poetry. People do that.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, people do that. It's beautiful.
Wow.
But it's also why I like battles because it's like a cool game you can battle. You can, I
Yes.
still do. I'm 45. I still do occasional crazy battle with the mission
Nice.
that I also occasionally do crazy things.
Nice.
One of the last things I did, it's also online, maybe on my page, is that there was like a challenge, and it was shapes. So you
Okay.
would have to do. You get shapes. What do
Ooh.
people do? Shapes, right? Shape,
Right. Right.
shape,
Right.
shape,
Yeah. Right.
shape, shape, shape,
Right.
shape. Right.
Right.
Okay, we can shape, shape,
Right.
shape. I started shape shifting. So I went from bacteria to worm to monkey to a
Oh,
businessman.
nice. Shape shifting. Okay. Okay.
Businessman that talked to the telephone that I'm too late, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, and in that sense, I blew up the battle. Battle went crazy, but I lost it
Okay.
because the judges said that's not what we meant with shapes.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I like it. A lot of battles that you see me in the context of experimental, not as a judge. I'm actually a lot of the times trying to do some weird shit.
Like trying to push it further, see where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
push it. And in that sense, there are also a lot of similar. I have a lot of comrades, let's say, people that think the same. They always try to, every time they enter, they try to push the envelope of what is possible, including the most radical thing that ever happened in Open Your Mind is a naked guy doing air flare while peeing.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Legend. Legend.
Wow. That's wow. Okay.
I traveled across the world, my friend, and every time I heard the same. Drosha, is it true that somebody on your battle was naked doing air flare while peeing? Yes, it is. It's
Wow.
documented, it's true. It shocked the
Wow.
whole world, it shocked the whole room, it shocked the theater. Oh my God, but I fucking loved it. Just the audacity, just the discipline. the
Right.
training and the skill you need to do
To
that.
do that, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look,
they must have practiced maybe before, I
so
would think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now for the if you later watch it, so somebody reacts now from people doing moves. It's them. Those are my
Wow.
homies from Germany, and so that was still unbeaten, most legendary moment of Open Your Mind that people still talk about it and ask me to show it online, and I will never do that because I filmed it. I have the footage of that.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
are you
Of
keeping what you just, is it because you want people to come to the event?
yes.
Okay.
Look, whoever is now watching from the OEM community, they know there's no, like not even halfway. You're not halfway there if you watch it from YouTube, right?
When I try to get the new job, the first question is it true that your crew peeing on stage?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, bro. It was. But wait, let me tell you about more anecdotes because you love it. So Daniel's crew, so that's Patlach who's reacting. One
Okay.
of the most genius things that I did is they had a performance on stage where there were two guys half naked. They took whole chicken, right? The whole chicken. You take
And
the whole chicken, you put
okay.
your fist in it, and the two of them started boxing with whole chicken,
Wow.
right? So
Okay.
again, like everybody's watching, like, what the hell is going on? Why it works? Why? Because they're good performers. Why
Mm.
they actually, it's all about like fun, trash, and pushing the limit, but they actually know what they're doing. People
There's a
screaming,
skill
whatever.
to it. It's a skill. There's skillfulness with it.
But then I talked to, of course, I talked to everyone after, and they didn't win, but it's not the point. And
Uh-huh.
then one of them tells me, but look, Drosha, we didn't invent this. People all the way in Siberia, like in the villages that have no roads, this
Right.
is what they do for fun.
Right.
When they're drunk and they're bored,
Right.
they're like
Humans.
bored to death,
Right.
they start boxing with chicken. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, come on. This is, you have to be there.
Right. These are just human things through history of time of tribes and just humans just experimenting and being
Yes,
just it's human. It's just this humanness.
you
Wow.
have to be there. Like you've seen, right? You've seen parts of like this when there's a improvisation on a table, and then I create this atmosphere. But that we have a lot of different atmosphere. You have to be there to see the best points. If you
Wow.
go further, I even made like this laser room with hazers and then all
Oh,
lasers. I gave people mirrors to reflect. Wow, you got crazy ideas that people then come out,
yes.
including the audience that continuously ask me, "Is this theater? Did they study it?" I said, "No, no, it's not theater. It's just all improvised.
Wow. So,
It's
okay.
all improvised."
Wow. Okay, oh, man, so many points I like to, so many things that I would like to ask questions. I guess my first thought was, since a lot of theater influence, theater, people studying theater and also street dancers coming together, is there, I'm not aware of many other events that have street dancers and like the contemporary modern world coming
No,
together in a
yeah,
competition
there are,
setting. So is that,
yeah,
to
there
my
are, there,
knowledge, wow, that's
there
a,
are, yeah,
there,
there are, yeah, 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 yeah,
there
yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah. Open Your Mind kind of was the first, but we opened the floodgate. There's a lot. There's even one in Denver, if I'm not mistaken, quite cool one.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I see the pictures, but so and it the, but there are a lot. So I collect them kind of. I try to follow them, and oftentimes they will invite me to judge. Obviously, I'm kind of like this. I understand. I'm the
Okay.
go-to guy to say, hey, but oftentimes they also want a blessing
Ah,
because
okay.
open your mind. Like what we did is we framed this idea of battle and improvisation
Yes.
together, which opens it to much more uh, much broader dance audience because
Right.
improvisation is not necessarily our like our strong suit, the hip hop strong suit.
Yes.
While battling is not academical strong suit, but
Right.
improvising is. So if you build the right bridge, and there's much more to tell you about how I tweak every year, I try to make concepts like good enough, and it works. It's the whole point. We have such a great events communities. People don't see differences. People like Uh, I think 2 years ago, something touched me really to the depths of my heart. The community usually sticks around the city. after the event. They go to the park
Oh, nice. Okay.
and then they put all the flags from where they come from.
Oh, wow.
And all of the countries that are now at war are there together.
Wow.
It's just I didn't make it like this. It's
Wow.
the fact that, right, a style clash is also a difference talk. Like you are like this and I am like that. And I did experience this kind of, I don't know, cleansing of dance through saying, yo, your pops are not good enough, or you're not a real pop or whatever, you're not a real b-boy. This idea, you're not a real something, always enraged me.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
What? And funny thing, the closer you get to the community, the more welcome I feel. So I'm going to popping parties or whatever. It, it's not about that. It's the fact that every dance community that invites people inside because they feel the freedom somehow then lose it often later on. Right?
Interesting.
Because somebody will tell you you're doing it right or wrong, but you already tell them, what? I never knew there was a wrong. Teach me how to do it. But what if I, right? Why? What's wrong? And
Yeah.
then you go into this yes, but uh,
Yes.
philosophy that I talk about it. Yeah, you're so good, but I heard it so often. You're
Right.
so creative, but I'm like,
But
but why can't I just be creative?
right.
Why can't it just be whatever? Why? What if
Why?
you?
Why? Right. Why not? Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, could here another a good example. I really like my fellow countryman Robert Val, right?
Ah, yes. Robot Val. Yes.
Right. I also shout out Clock Sticking and Mr.
Yes.
Robotnik.
Yes.
We've never interacted, so we've never intersected before, which
Okay.
will happen because they're very much like my interpretation of I love this a lot. They're making fun, they're like NPCing, right?
Yes. Yes.
They will never win in a popping battle.
Right. I mean, yes, I would say again, Robot Val clocks, the people you mentioned, they are not, that is not where they're trying to express and go into the popping competition. Yes. Yeah, I
So they
agree.
create their own, right? So they then create their own.
Right.
And when I have the chance to go to USA, which well I for sure do, I will get there because I'd like to be there. I'm like, fuck, this is so good. I
Right.
do feel myself part of animation family because
Mm,
I am animation. Everything I do is animated. Even
mm.
this clip that you showed, which is really old of me,
Yeah, the leg,
like
right.
this, the leg when this like continuously working with techniques I learned from animation and popping, but
Hmm.
just playing with it more maybe than the other ones. But
Yes.
yeah, what they do is great. But this is for me the proof of the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
You have to eat it. Once you start eating, then Robert Val is so dope. He will get through pre-selection, right? He might even get to top 16. But then he will clash with a meta. And the meta will say, this is not, you have to fit more in this box than in this box.
Mm.
So me and Jing, I coming back to my brother in arms from my crew, who does a lot of, he's also organizer of Planet Popping, by the way, which is very famous
Oh, wow.
already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the boss. So we do it together. But we philosophized about this because I kind of asked him, when will it be possible to put them all together in one event? Because that's the community I'd like to be part of,
To
right?
put the like people like you're saying like Robot Val, putting these people all together in one event.
So when it's going to be normalized, normal, I don't like the word, but it's when the meta will be so open again
Yes.
that I remember Bishop, right? I used Bishop as an example. He's maybe the best waiver that for me ever lived, right? But he's so not meta, like you cannot fit him in a proper popping battle, right? And in this, we kind of lost and losing a little bit of the creative force
Yes.
because instead of breaking the meta, what happens in normal art form, this is how innovation starts, right? People choose to do the same that I did. Will step out. So Kozin said, yeah, you're right. He said, Robert Val won animation category at Dance Vision. Yes, right? Of course, the animation category, waving category. And then this is the trend. People now focus.
A
So
specific, right,
specialists
right,
come
right.
in,
Focus on, specialize, yeah.
specialize, create their own substructures, subdivisions,
Right.
which is all kind of, for me, convoluted. I don't know why. Why just take the plug out of your ass? Like, bum, it doesn't matter. Just put the judges and make them clash together because that's the battle I would like to see. Robert Val against Hosin, right?
You know,
Without
and I was gonna say, I think it's interesting because from my understanding, from some people I've spoken to, when popping first was around, like the 70s and the 80s, it was people doing all things. People were tutting, people were waving, people were robot, people were hitting, people were puppet, and they were all together. It was a mixture of all the styles. But now as time continued, it started to get very this is this. And I think a lot of the why we have waving and why we no, I won't speak on waving, but I'll say animation and robot, I feel those styles started to become like specific categories because they weren't accepted in popping. So they made their own things. So
right, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely you're looking this at this um, trend. I call it a trend because it's not a law. It's not nature. It's not science. It's not like gravity, right? You cannot go. No, we do this. We ourselves do it, right?
right.
Is that what attracts a lot of people to other dance style is the freedom. Is you factually kind of canalize it and make it anti-freedom. You made it specialization,
Hmm.
right? Yes, I do agree, and I love those. Animation is dead,
Right.
and Boogaloo is dead,
Right.
right? You can be
Hmm.
this good or that good, and it becomes less and less free. Kind of, I have already like a computer game. Choose your path. Are you going to become a rogue,
Yeah.
a barbarian,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah.
What? What about just, why? And then I say, but if you create the right place, that's why it's not a style, it's a place. And there's a place where they can all play around
Yes.
together. Because on the street, if you put all of us together in the jam, we all
Right.
have fun, right? We all jam
Right, right.
together. I don't care if you're Robert Fowl or
No, no.
animated DJ,
Right.
Drosha. Nobody cares, man. And
Mhm.
it's kind of this. I think, in a sense, Red Bull Dance Your Style is kind of this attempt to bring everybody
Yeah.
in.
Yes. Hmm.
But it has, for me, it's a little bit too much entertainment and has like a circus effect. A lot of people screaming, and I'm
Right.
an artist, so I have a kink and an obsession with seeing the soul of dancers through their art.
Hmm.
And I did myself dance your style. The very first Dutch dance your style I was still young enough to participate, and
Okay.
yeah,
Ah.
that's okay. I'm not again. I'm not a so even though I have some radical ideas, I'm not the how do you say? I'm not a preacher. I'm not preaching to not do it like this or do it. No, this is how it is. I
Yes.
would think the best event in the world would have all the popping specialists together, and I think it would feel like a fresh breath of air. Just
Right.
imagine like somebody as specialistic as Future to into that clock sticking to some very traditional boogalooist like.
Right.
And Jing has to help me because he knows all the names. I don't know all the names.
Right.
I
Right.
just like all together in this clash of freedom when it's going to be hard to choose who wins, but it's going to be such a beautiful, diverse, amazing
Yeah.
platform.
Yes.
And that, yeah, in that sense, the talk we have is very much related to my love to breaking and popping. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
what I do is a mix of two.
Mm-hmm.
There are only two styles that in the end I tried every style there is, but in the end, those two styles that, oh my God, it's like they're the true kind of infinite possibility for innovation, uh, physical challenges.
Right.
There is magic in both of them, right?
Yep.
Uh, that's probably why we all want to make a wave or show it to you. When you're
Yes.
young, you want to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's the popping is so interesting as a global style, how you can live different characters,
Right.
from T-Rexing to, I love
Anything.
it, all of it.
Anything you want. Any imagination. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But why is it so strange that you cannot put it in a battle?
Because
Right? It's so strange that it's not right. We both agree. It's imaginary, it's so rich, and then the battle is like, okay, okay, sure.
right. It's. I think you touched on something important about how open your mind isn't your main source of income. Like you said that you don't make money. You're not trying to make a living with open your mind or experimental. And I think perhaps the money can probably influence why there could sometimes be this is
Maybe.
how it's done.
maybe.
So I don't know.
Um,
That could be possible.
that's yeah. It's a how to say we're skating on very smooth, dangerous.
Right, right, right.
I don't want to
Get
judge about
into.
my colleagues.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a super, being professional dancer is super tough business. I have been professional dancer, uh, and I still work within the dance culture, but I have now my own companies that produce stuff, run stuff, and I'm not dependent on that from the thing that's one of the most heavy thing in the world to do. And maybe getting closer to the end.
Hmm.
I want to give shout out to anybody you already spoken and be there because the toughest job out there is trying to be successful as a hip hop dancer.
Hmm.
It's crazy. Everybody who's been on the top, and I say I'm not an eight year. I was close to eight year when it comes to professional life. So travel, judge, teach workshops, don't sleep, do shows, then you teach again, then you battle, then you judge, then it's like this whole 99% of people would burn out and quit. And so I'm in no position to judge anything about anyone. I
Right,
would just say Godspeed, do you
right.
uh, be successful, be professional, whatever you want. Who am I to, right? And yeah, and then there is a certain amount of unhealthy guruism in our culture. I call it like this,
Mm.
which is very healthy entrepreneuring strategy.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you have followers instead of students,
Right,
right? They will
right.
follow you, they'll pay you money. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
right.
And yeah, who are
Wow.
we, right, to judge about it?
Right. I like to ask, where do you see the future of? Oh, well, before I say this, would you say Open Your Mind is the largest experimental community event in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
world?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So where do you see the future of Open Your Mind? Where do you see it going?
Um,
Where is it going?
well, let me give you a premiere for everybody who's watching. I'm already looking for succession.
Mm.
So I'm still the open your mind granddad, but I'd love to find a way how to properly find succession to whoever will organize it. So far, it's a little bit tough. Um, open your mind in the Netherlands is the core, and I've managed to fund it quite well. So there's solid funding because without this, it's gonna go.
Mhm.
Uh, every year in Eindhoven, we organize it again and again and again and again and again and again for 15 years. And then it kind of, I'm like a spider. Then I can, make sure that other events also organize it and at least can send a champion to us.
Mhm.
And then we take them, we give them hotel, we give them food. But Open Mind itself is not profitable, not at all. Franchise doesn't make any money. I don't ask any money. Like I told you in the beginning, I'm not looking for like pay me 1,500 in order. It's not worth it because while we're the biggest in the world, we are super small.
Right, right.
It's just a super little community of, 10% of 90%.
Mhm.
We can't go even close to Red Bull numbers or KOD numbers, Asian numbers. So I'm very aware of that. And so I would be a fool to look for commercial gain there. And that made it also pure. My
Mhm.
hope, my dream, after I will find succession, somebody, at least from Europe, to run the show further, I will be working on an idea that it's a open source event.
Mm.
So I'm doubling this for quite a long time.
Mhm.
Um, in online, everything you have to know about Open Mind is downloadable.
Okay.
Uh, and we don't even care about, I have maybe a little problem here with the sound. And you
No, no,
don't
it's
have to ask my permission.
mhm.
You don't have to ask anyone's permission. That's my dream. So there could be 200 Open Your Minds worldwide, all happening at the same time.
Mm.
Use the logo, use the prototype, use the way, because I teach people how to organize Open Your Mind. Once you know it, everybody can do it at home.
Okay.
That's kind of my dream. Imagine there's an event that's bigger than the name of a certain person, because every
Yeah.
event, like
Yeah, right.
freestyle session, cannot exist without the people on the head. It's all like connected to the certain heroes, but when those heroes gone, they're gone. And if Open Your Mind would be open source, and even you would say, hey, Drosha, can I have access to this open source platform? You download the logo, you download this is the way the games are structured. This is the way you organize your own, you make your own version.
Right. Right.
Don't even, right? It's not even that important how to do it.
Right.
Because remember, I told you, this is not I'm not looking for a church.
Right. 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 I need to blow my nose. I'll be right back.
Sure, sure. What's up, people? We're at small commercial break.
Okay. Thank you for
Check,
that.
check,
Okay.
Mark, check.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes. Okay. So I hear what you're saying about open source so that anyone can download it and then
Yeah, yeah.
host their. Okay. I see.
That would be the most beautiful end experiment to figure out how this, quite. I understand our reputation is much bigger than the event, for
Hmm.
sure. I'm even surprised that you know about it and you live on halfway across the planet, right?
Hmm.
But the point is, it's the trouble finding succession is not so much about we don't have the OEM. Yeah, Jing is saying OEM popping edition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why
That would
not?
be
We can make
interesting.
it happen. We can make it happen. But so the idea is not so much about succession in the sense of do you need another visionary? Because I understand I'm quite good at inventing visionary things. I have a lot of experience in theater and uh, I build cultural programs for living. That's what I do. I basically invent programs for social, for culture, for art, and then fund them.
Wow.
And that's what I do all the time.
Wow.
But the organizational part is quite tough. You need, right? It's a commitment. You need somebody who can, book, organize, and that's tough. I don't have the right funding yet to figure out. And I wanted to quit, but my own people said no way. So
Mm,
that's very nice. That's a
right.
lot of love to my closest community saying, no, 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 no. We'll stand in front of your door protesting
Nice. Wow.
at this point. But I hope that the world situation will become better in all coming years, that we have less wars and less trouble. So I can reach out to the also community that's now suffering a lot. Especially the war in Russia, Ukraine, just
Yeah.
they they wounded our event so much. It's still we're still trying to get back there. They crashed the beautiful community of people from Ukraine and Russia. They used to be together now against each other. I mean that sucks. It's just nothing we can do about it. We
Mhm.
tried and we tried, but it's too tough. Yeah.
Wow.
But let's not go there. This is going to be
Yeah.
another complicated.
Of course, of course. My last question I'd like to ask is, and again, if there's anyone here that has questions you would like to ask, but for me, my last question would be, for people that are watching or people that will watch this video in the future, what is a message you would like to leave them with? What is something you would want them to, yeah, something you want to leave them with, a message.
Um, I think. Oh my God, this is the part where you like have to do this. I have to take my guru shoes on. Um, I think don't take it too serious, even the dance, right? And even it's serious, even well colleagues, I dance. This is my life. I dance. It's like it's when it goes to the you know people fighting for ideas, trying to convince each other mine is true. It's when I completely lose it.
Mm,
Right? We all coexist. Give each other space to be different. That's all there is, right?
mm,
I completely understand like the purest gatekeeping form of that. This is how it's supposed to be because it creates legacy and history. But
right.
in the end, um, the reason, let me, this is the reason why maybe some of the older battles were more diverse than now, and then people will go to other channels to find the way to look for what we always wanted to find. Nothing changed. The wizard that comes out and surprises you, right?
Yes.
is now no longer uh, there to find in the mainstream. Can I say it like this? And I
Okay.
maybe again, maybe I'm a little bit radical, but I also like to
Hmm.
invite people to think radical. The
Sure.
wizards, the innovators, the people that are radically unmatchable, because most of my heroes, some of them are very famous, some of them are not famous at all, but it's so interesting. I know also a lot of them would be shaming each other,
Mm.
right? There is always somebody who calls each other whack, not because of the skill, but because of the mindset, untrue, fake. We have a culture of terms that I don't like. No, there are people that are still unskilled. You help them to become better, right? But systematizing into like one road, one school, one. It's just it's like a beautiful forest with a lot of fruits, bushes, and it's beautiful, it's diverse. And we all suddenly start to plant one tree, oak, 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 oak. The
Right.
forest will die. It dies.
Right. Right.
And then I'm inviting to be like radical diversity is also fighting against your own bias to fix mistakes,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Like
Right.
give people place to be naive and make their own way and go against the grain. In dance, it's beautiful, right? Because now, look again, who are the most forward thinkers right now in animation? They're not part of the mainstream, right?
Mm. No.
They're
No.
not. No, they're not. Okay, at one point they will become a mainstream because, like Jing has said, like there's like big events that have now sub competitions in which people still get a lot of exposure.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I know them before they were like obscure, you
Yes.
know,
They were.
somewhere in a corner
Yes.
doing something, thinking, yeah, if I enter this battle, I'll never win. I can never
Right.
defeat that.
Right.
Right? That's it.
Wow. Wow. All right. Wow. And if there's any, I'll give a moment if there's anyone here that would like to ask a question. But while I'm waiting, I want to thank you, Drosha, for also where did Drosha come from, that name? You said that's not your
So
actual.
it's no, no, no. My actual name is Andrei, and in Russian there's a lot of versions of saying the same name. So it's like Andrei. It's my formal name, but my mother called me Andrusha. It's like cute, Andrusha.
Okay.
And the last part of it, it's Drusha, is changed into Drosha by my friends from Russia.
I see.
In Russia, I'm not the only Drosha. There's a lot of Droshas. In the West, it kind of sounds like,
Like a
how do
new,
you
okay,
say,
yeah.
it's,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, it sounds exotic, right? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it ends on an A, so it's kind of like could be a girl, but I still do it, and I don't give a
Drosha.
fuck.
I
I
like it. It's
like it.
cool.
It
I think
sticks.
it's,
Yeah, it sticks. But it's
yeah.
actually it's the nickname I carry from my eighth or ninth day of age, maybe 10th,
Okay.
when kids on the street started to call me because we walked on the street and then all the mothers start screaming in the summer, Andrusha, or like, there, who's there,
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
John, and then you have to go home, and then it's kind of how it went.
I love that's funny. I love it. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
I wanted to ask. You mentioned the dancer named Simon Buss. Simon, correct?
yeah,
Simon. Is he
yeah,
a street dancer, contemporary? What
yeah.
is his? He
No,
is.
he's a b-boy.
He's a b-boy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he evolved.
Okay.
He evolved into, and he's still, but he's my homie for a long time.
Wow. Okay.
He's also very interesting, one of the most interesting dancers, and his roots are abstract b-boy.
Okay.
So it's the
Interesting.
same as mine. It's the same what Robo Z was talking about. His crew, a lot of same roots,
Hmm.
and in a sense, abstract b-boying for me was also peak of the diversity.
Okay.
If people would look at this age where were like punks and emos and metal, and it's I loved it. I miss it. Like we're all maybe too much like uniform culture,
Yeah.
but back in the days they would all mingle together, right? And there
I
was
see.
even like clash between breakers of more foundational style versus the more abstract style. And Simon was absolutely one of the first in the Netherlands that did this.
Wow. Okay.
And now he's in the cosmos. He's another galaxy.
Love it. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I've seen videos of him. I was like, huh, wow, he's so different. So, and you
Yeah.
mentioned him, so I was like, oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
also, yeah, an Open Your Mind champion, right? So yeah, yeah. Couple of times even.
Yes.
Even there's he's one of the people I asked not to enter anymore.
Ah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I don't order it, but
Yeah.
I also ask like, wait, just just take it easy, right? Because I
Yeah.
do like the
Let's.
fact that some
Right.
other people get the chance. Like this, we have only one event like this.
Yeah.
And I love it. The community always listens. Also, Simon always he's always there. He's every event he's there. Never missed, I think, maybe one
Oh
or two
wow.
events.
Okay.
Either he's judging, he judged a lot, or just supporting. Uh, but it's like one more or less successful experiment that works, right? And it's good that people then have a chance to feel that joy of winning.
Yes.
Um, and then when I always try to fight the meta, that's why I fight it. Like not make it like good for this kind of square or that kind of square.
Right. Right.
We'll see what happens in the future. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you, Drosha, for your time and explaining the community experimental, your journey. I feel there's a lot of clarity I have, and I'm sure when people hear this as well, that brings more clarity on what,
I hope so.
what is this and what you are doing and the future as well of movement and dance and expression. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit brainy. I'm a nerd.
No, that's
Forgive
beautiful. That's
me. That's
wonderful.
I
Yes.
like to, they call me sometimes Professor Drosha, so and I like it. It's just my unmeasurable love for the culture. I just I love everything. I love it so much. I fucking love to dig in it and look for ways, philosophies. Like my programs are all meant to help, the dance community better.
Yes.
That's the whole point, right? So
Yes.
yeah, have a good time
Yes, sir.
everywhere in the world. See you somewhere.
Yes, one day we will meet. I will go to an Open Your Mind
Yeah,
event. One day. One day
well,
we'll meet.
let's stay in touch. Let's
Let's
stay
stay
in
in
touch.
touch. Let's stay in touch.
Yes.
All right, sir. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye bye.
Take
Ciao,
care.
ciao.